Things going over there in the States?
I don't think that's how you want to start this conversation.
It is.
No,
Because
it's
you
not.
said to actually wanted to. It is.
I mean, depends on who you it depends on who you ask. Like,
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm at the point of my life where I'm just trying to keep my head down, stay moisturized, drink my water, and mind my business. Like, that's really where I'm at right now. Like, I
Okay.
cannot,
That's
I I'm aware of everything that's going on, but I don't have the energy right now.
real. No, that's real. That's real. So let's talk about your projects and what you got going on. Just finished up with the jazz festival.
I don't want to say that's my
How was that?
project. I don't like saying that that's my project. Because that wasn't my project. It's something that I worked on, but I feel very
Right.
remiss trying to claim that as my project because
Mhm.
that was so many people's project. Like I was like 1% of all the people that were involved in that project. I can't by no stretch of the imagination say that working with the Chicago Jazz Festival was my project. Now, what I did do was I'm the new marketing director for the Jazz Institute of Chicago,
Okay.
um, which is the programming partner for the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events for the city of Chicago. And
Hmm.
so collectively, those two organizations work together to present the Chicago Jazz Festival, which they've been doing, I think, since 1979. Um, and I think is one of the few festivals in Chicago, if not the only festival where the city of Chicago's DKs partners with another entity to create the programming for that festival. But even though the Jazz Institute works on the programming, I didn't work on the programming side. My side was just the marketing of the Jazz Institute at the festival and what our visibility was at the festival. So that's why I was like, it's kind of hard to like really like talk about that because
Okay.
yeah.
So the last time we interviewed, which was our first interview that we had, we talked about you just actually know a couple of different initiatives and projects that I got going on with the blues to hip hop stuff and other things within my research. Um, Talk to me about since you're in an art studio right now, and I know the last time that we talked, you were talking about stepping more into your creativity and into your artistry. How since the last time we talked, because it's been like several months now. How do you feel more fullness or completely into that person that you are, or are you still trying to find your footing?
Honestly, I'm still trying to find my footing. And that was like something that I woke up this morning kind of having some mild anxiety about. I found like I think a very hard thing is trying to find that balance of making a consistent income outside of the artistry because the artistry and creativity just isn't there yet.
Okay.
Um and I woke up kind of feeling really disappointed. Like even though I'm in the art studio, this is my first time like really in here and I had to force myself to make it here. Like I had to make it a part of my day and I had to make it intentional. I was supposed to be working on an EP. I met a producer that I was really excited to work with, still am really excited to work with. He reached out to me, gave me some tracks. I've been meaning to sit down and write write to these tracks that he sent to me. And I just haven't had the space. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like if I'm gonna be this is gonna be like a very different interview. Like it's hard. It's hard, trying to show up and work and then show up for other people and show up for friends and family. And even when I do get a moment to myself, it's just like my mind just needs to detach from everything and think about nothing. That even the
Right.
idea of creating is like so much. So like, yeah, I would like, and I'm thinking like, man, it's September, almost October. We got about a quarter of the year left, and I really wanted to like work on this EP, and I haven't worked on it.
Right.
Um, I wanted to get my art website up. Haven't done that. And you asked me about the work that I will say this, like I have gotten this new job with the Jazz Institute as the marketing director. I mean, honest, like a lot of my time and attention has gone to just trying to work and make money. And but I'm also new to this organization, and that requires a level of like getting to know the people, getting to know how they operate, and in that same moment trying to implement new things. And I still haven't really fleshed out the vision that I have with that, because it's like the things that you have and then it's the direction that you want to go. I think someone calls it, it's like building a plane while it's already in the air, so it's like that dynamic. I think what I can say is that even though I haven't had the time to create, I mean, I still try to go to piano lessons, when I can on a weekly basis. It's not always on a weekly basis because work interferes.
Right.
I was supposed to paint last week, couldn't paint last week because I had to be with clients, as they, had a couple of opportunities that I had to be present for. So I'll be honest, like, it's hard. It's not easy. I am overwhelmed. And I'm also trying to, but I also like, even when I do have time for myself, like I said, where I try to live in that creativity, I'm trying to like work out, make sure like, my body is still moving and I have strength. So when I am older, I'm healthy, and it's a lot. I have not figured it out yet.
Okay. That's real. I appreciate the honesty and certainly can relate to that world because I think that sometimes we have a plan in our minds of how things should go and how it should look. And then the universe laughs at us. So I completely understand that. But in your time of figuring it out, you've had or you participated in how many art shows now?
I mean, I've only one, one really. So the art show that I did last year was the Dear Jazz Show, which was a partnership with the Jazz Institute. Well, maybe more than one. So you have the
Yes,
Dear,
so I'm like, no, it's been more than one, ma'am.
but let's think about how we're counting it. So we have the Dear Jazz Art Show, which was
Mm-hmm.
last November, so it was about a year ago. And I had a painting in that. I did have a painting in another Fulton Street show. I think it was in February. And then in last November, I put together my own art show. But that I feel like
Right.
that's a very different thing than being selected for an art show. Like putting together your own art show and then being selected to present in an art show are like two different things. Um, and
But there
so
are shows.
but in the art world, they kind of categorize them differently. Like there's a certain type of, cachet to being selected versus, putting together your own show. So in my way, I'm not really counting that because I put it together myself. So those, and then I did work with an art mentor. He had a show that I had a couple of works in. I don't really count that one because I didn't really get to submit work that I really wanted to submit that represented who I was. Like the work that was submitted, like everyone kind of had the same body of work, just different representations of it. So I did do that, and nobody was and that was like a very much youth program where it was like three adult students, three or four of us that were adults, but people were like really checking for the young people, like the students, like the kids that were
Mhm.
in elementary school and college. Like we were just kind of like this antidote that nobody was like really checking for. So, I mean, yes, will I put on my resume? Sure. But like no one came to that show to like check out, Vanessa Abrams' work.
My professor will have a field day with you, serious. She will be like, ma'am, no, we're not doing this. But I understand the sentiments that, um, you discussed and how you feel about embracing that world. Because, like you said, you're still trying to find your footing and navigate it in a balancing way. So I certainly get that. So also talk to me about some other initiatives you've done in terms of like you've done voiceovers, you've done plays. What else have you done in your creativity space?
I think in the last one we already talked about the play that I've done. I haven't done a play since then because I haven't had a chance to like really audition for anything. The last thing that I did do, though, what you said about voiceovers, I met somebody who has an animation project that he's trying to bring to life. Well, not trying to, he's working to bring to life. And I am the voice of one of the animation characters for the pilot of that comic. And then I did do so in February. I auditioned for this. It wasn't a play. It was more of a performance reading. So she's a
Okay.
filmmaker. She's a filmmaker. Her name is Cookie Hughes, and she has this screenplay called "She's Too Bad for History," which is a story about Black women during Black women in Chicago during the Black Panther movement back in
Okay.
I believe it was the 60s or 70s. And so it was a performance read. So it was a bunch of actors, actresses, and we were all on stage in black, and we had our stands with lights, and in the background they had pictures to help people follow the story visually to some degree, but we
Oh, okay.
voiced. It wasn't an animation; it was just pictures, and I voiced about seven characters in that script, which led to me doing the voiceover work.
Okay.
So it was like no actual movement. It was just kind of like we're reading the script and, kind of bring it to life. And that was the first time that she had the opportunity to bring that script to life. And she's hoping that, that content that we were able to do and maybe some other things will help, get the actual film off the ground.
Okay. No, that actually sounds pretty cool. And for me, I think that it provides multiple perspectives to the space of being a creative because I know certainly well when I was coming up and starting off in art school and stuff, oftentimes it was alluded that you had to be just one type of artist. But now a lot of people who are in the creative spaces are expanding what they're doing and getting their feet into theater, getting their feet into music, getting their feet into other different spaces which actually feed off of each other being a creator. So I think that what you're doing is actually pretty cool and it's showing, I think, to the listeners and to audience and stuff, to take a chance on whatever it is in terms of the creativity that drives you, because some people may prefer being front and center on stage. And some people may, decide once they get into a couple of things like, oh, I actually like being behind the camera and using my voice for something else. So I like the fact that you're testing a couple of different things out, which is really, really cool. And it's expanding you, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't you think?
I wouldn't say that I would solely want to be a voiceover. Like I like doing voiceover work, but that I don't want that to I don't mind doing voiceover work and I like doing voiceover work, but I also like being on stage too and and having that role. So I think that's also the problem or the challenge of being able to do multiple different things is that people try to kind of put you in a lane. And
Yeah.
once they see that you can do one thing, they kind of like want to leave you there. Like, oh, this is what you do.
Hmm.
I see you do this one thing and you're gonna stick there. Like, for example, I mean, I had a friendship with someone some years ago, and I had, this friendship ended, and I recently ran into this old friend, former friend, at an art event. And at the time that I was friends with this individual did not know that I like or did not embrace that I was an artist. And then seeing me in this other art event, I'm probably sure that this individual was like, what the fuck is Vanessa doing here? And not knowing that since our friendship has ended, even before it started, that this is what I was. So, and I even had that happen in another situation. Like it was a situation because what I do, because I know I get tired of people like, you do all of that? Are you sure? You're doing too much. Blah, blah, blah. Like, So depending on the space that I am, I just kind of give them a little bit and then let them figure out the rest. And so one of my favorite stories is it was this young lady and she knew me strictly for music. And then she saw me somewhere where the worlds of music and marketing kind of overlapped. And it was like a music event that we were at, but it wasn't like a performance event. It was more in
Okay.
the nonprofit kind of like business of music space. And
Hmm.
I was at the fundraiser as part of the committee and things like that. And she was an artist, and she saw me. She's like, I think she was like one of the mentors for the organization. And she's like, what are you doing here?" And I was like, "Huh, you caught me in my other life. You got to see that I do other things than what I told you to do. We'll talk about that later." But yeah, she was like, I'm like, eh, hi. Yeah. And I think that's so interesting because I also was at another kind of like arts related event and I saw somebody, this probably has absolutely nothing to do with the conversation, but I'm going there anyway. And I saw this other young lady from like the business world and and she saw me and she's like, "Oh, hi, how are you doing? Like, I haven't seen you in a while." And I was like, I'm navigating in different spaces. And I think also because when people kind of like got used to seeing me in one lane, and now that I'm doing something in another lane, I guess they figured like it was like the sentiment of how she said it. It was the energy, like I can't pinpoint it. It was the energy
Hmm.
like where the fuck you been? You ain't been around. Like I've been navigating different spaces that you aren't associated with. And which is actually very important. Like I was telling I think it was my executive director of the Jazz Institute. I was telling her and someone else at an event that I was at that as I navigate this world, one of the things that I had to do was I couldn't expect, I had to learn that everyone is just not going to accept all these versions of me. Like it's just
Yeah,
not going to
that's
happen.
true.
And so when I started breaking into being an artist, or I wouldn't say breaking into it, tapping back into being an artist, I just stopped telling people that knew me that I was an artist. And what I did was I just started going into new spaces and introducing myself as an artist because they have no former, background of who I am. So
No
if I
past histories.
right, so if
Yeah,
I walk in and say, "Hey, I'm a singer," they're gonna like, okay, because what other
right.
information
I,
do they have to say otherwise? And so that, and I think, and actually one of my mentors from college, he told me that. He was one of the people that told me that at the top of the year. And I had been doing it, but it's like more, focused about like in some spaces I just don't tell everything. I only tell them what they need to know in that moment. And if the moment
Right.
comes where the world starts to intertwine, then they do. But it is funny because I've been running into people that do know me in my past life. Like one of my friends, I used to dog sit for her, and she came to Chicago, and I was with her and some other her friends, and she's like, "This is my friend Vanessa, and she's a painter." And she just woke up one day and just started painting. And I was like, that's not accurate. And she's like, but that's how it looks. Like, I was like, this is not legally blind. Like, I didn't just wake up and decide to go to law school. Like,
Right. Like seriously.
but and so then this weekend I saw somebody else that know me from my other life, and she started, and I started talking to her, and didn't have enough time to go into it. She's like, "What? Did you just wake up one day?" And I'm like, "No, like it's a real thing. Like everyone literally thinks I just woke up one day and decided to be a different person. Like, hmm, it's
Which is
Tuesday.
which
You know what?
is crazy.
I think I'm gonna just be an artist. Yep. That's how they think it happened. I just woke up on a random Tuesday and decided to be an artist.
But even if that was the case, what's the problem with that? Some there are people that wake up and be looking like I don't want my children no more. They walk out. So I mean, what's the problem? People do crazy stuff. It just is what it is. But
But it's like also a
to
knock
kind of
to
like
my
segue the
experience.
conversation,
I feel like it's a knock to the experience, like
yes,
that I've like this is something I've been studying for years. No, I feel
and
like it's a discount to what I bring to the table. Now, what I did. What's funny is everyone thinks I woke up one day and decided to be an artist. The real story is I woke up one day and decided to do PR. That's the real story that nobody was
that's the
ready
real
for.
story.
That's the real story.
Seriously.
I did not study public when I tell I was like I did not study public relations. Didn't study it. I'm just naturally good at it. That's just, but I think we talked about this in the other one. What makes me good at public relations and marketing is being an artist. Like
Yep.
that's how that happened. Like that's how I segued into, because actually I didn't even start in public relations. I started in marketing because I was doing marketing for record labels
Yep.
before I went into public relations. Aha, a lot of people don't know that. But yeah, I didn't just wait. I woke up and was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do marketing. I think I'm gonna do public relations. And I don't know what this looks like, but you froze for a second. Okay, now you nodding.
No, yeah. It happens. It happens. It makes like perfectly good sense to just the narrative and then the direction that you, because it's like you're, to me, and I don't know if people know this, so if we talked about this in the last time, but as you being a dancer, it's like you're dancing. It's like you're stepping one foot into one world, another foot, and then it's like you're going back and forth, but it all connects to creativity, and that's what completely makes perfectly good sense to me. But I want to hit on something that we did talk about the last time and kind of making the connection. One of the things that you addressed was being very intuitive and being connected internally to yourself and listening more to your inner soul, inner heart, and all of that. So when you talk about still trying to get your sea legs for the most part in terms of your creativity, your art world, how is that helping you? How is that influencing the choices and decisions that you're making, being a little bit more intuitive? Are you slowing down a little bit and being very cognizant and aware of what you're doing? Or you be like, let me just try this out and see what happens?
I'll be honest, I allowed work, the hustle and bustle of work to have me step away from tapping into my intuitiveness. And then, like last year was like a struggle. Like, I think we talked about this before. Like last year, 2024 was not my year. It was and it wasn't. It was like a struggle. And it's like now I'm just kind of like getting out of it. And I'm like, and I was actually, it's so funny that we're talking about this because I am starting to get back into meditation. And I kind of had like I didn't meditate, but I had like a meditative moment where, like I said, coincidentally, I didn't know that I was gonna wake up today and be like, Vanessa, you've been giving so much time to other people that you're not giving it to yourself. Like, I didn't know I was gonna wake up with that, but that came to me today. And
Mm,
I think what happened was because I was so much in survival mode that I had created this routine to keep me going, to keep me, and it's like, hold on, wait a
right.
minute. Like things, and today, like literally just today, I just woke up today, it's like, wait a minute, I need to change my routine because I'm not in the same place that I was last year. So I need to figure this out. So it does, so even though I say that to say, even though I'm not as tapped into it as far as like meditating on a regular basis. I have been getting back into it, but the habit isn't where I want it to be, but it's still there. It still comes to me. Like, when you tapped in, it figures out a way to let you know stuff. And then sometimes it comes through other people. Like one of my prayers was that if I'm not getting it, send people or send messages to me so that I can get it. So it's been coming. I still believe in it. Sometimes things are touch and go. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I know things that isn't as what's the word I want to say? In your face or isn't here. But I have to trust it because so many times I realize when I don't listen to it, I regret not listening to it, even though the present moment doesn't support where I'm at. That the intuition is something that I haven't been practicing my meditation so to help me. Long story short, I haven't been practicing my meditation that helped me tap in. But even without practicing my meditation, the messages still find its way to come to me.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. Um, if you had all the time in the world to flow directly, get good night's sleep, do your meditation, everything, what would an ideal day look like for you to work fully in your creativity and your path as an artist?
An ideal day. Okay. I don't know because I haven't given this much thought. So we're about to freestyle this.
Wing it. Yes, ma'am.
Definitely it will be a
Put a beat
slow,
to it.
it will definitely it would definitely be a slow start morning. Um, like no alarm clocks, things like that. I would definitely be able to start with like some form of meditation, to get my day going. Um, Coffee, reading, journaling, some good nourishing food, like some eggs and, maybe some multigrain toast with some fruit. I don't know, oatmeal. I don't know. Something delicious and nourishing and healthy would be how I would start the day. And then um, I would pick from one of my many talents. Do I do music today? Do I do visual art? Do I write? Do I dance? I would pick from one of those and maybe indulge in one of those for a couple of hours, then eat again, some form of lunch, maybe a midday workout. I actually like working out. That's part of the artistic journey, if I have to be 100% honest. It doesn't sound like it's part of the journey, but it's part of the
Hmm.
journey because it's part of that meditative process. If I'm being
Okay.
honest, like it's that I've noticed that since I've gotten back to working out, my anxiety has decreased significantly.
Okay.
Um, I think it has a lot to do with putting that energy someplace, someplace else. And just
Hmm.
getting the blood flowing and moving, things like that, being conscious of what I'm eating. Because I am starting to realize some foods just fucks up my head. For lack of a better word. Like some foods like just gives me more brain clout than others. Some foods give me more cognitive,
Okay.
um, you know, discipline, things like that. So that actually, plays into it. So getting some sort of workout in, whether even if it's something simple like a walk or yoga, um,
Okay.
doing something like that, if it's a perfect day, you're gonna like this part, maybe play with some animals, a dog or a cat or something like that will be part of the mix, get my cuddles in. Probably involve some handsome
Oh
gentlemen,
my God.
maybe, a handsome gentleman is involved in that day. Maybe we spend some time
I'm mad
together.
you looked over your shoulder like it was like you're not an adult. Like, what the- okay, continue, ma'am.
You could look at me and tell that I have a certain innocence about myself that I'd like try to let people maintain about me as much as possible.
Child
So,
bath.
huh?
Child bath.
But yeah, it probably involves some level of a handsome gentleman. Then maybe create some more, like maybe if I start the day with music, then I'll segue into some art, for the second half of the day.
Hmm.
Or maybe I'm putting together an event to showcase, my tour or what have you. Then later in the evening, perhaps I go out to dinner or have my own dinner, network with some other creatives, um, spend some time on the beach, drink some smoothies, you know, that's kind of like my ideal
Yeah.
day.
Okay. That's kind of a chill day. Okay.
Yeah,
I can get with that.
like maybe later in the night, like I said, we go to an exhibition or a concert or something like that, and an artist talk, or maybe I'm the artist giving the talk, or maybe I'm performing. Who knows? Like it's so hard to give a perfect day because I have so many versions of a perfect
Right.
day. There's another version of my day where I'm laying out
Yes.
on the beach somewhere and doing absolutely nothing but laying by some water and drinking out of a coconut and reading a book.
That's
That's also a
amazing.
perfect that's also a perfect day. So
Yes, indeed it is. Yes, indeed. Okay, who's on your play currently on your playlist?
Cleo Soul, I like her.
Okay.
Um, Me and you've been talking about Kirby. Kirby's back on the list. She had fell off for a minute, but she's back on there. Um,
Yes, yes, yes.
Esperanza Spalding. I just met her not too long ago, and
Okay.
I've been listening to her music again. I've been listening to her music for like a different reason though. I've listened to her music before, but
Oh, you got to tell about you got to tell about that you met her. You got to tell that you met her. You got to tell that you met her.
I met Esperanza Spalding and she's amazing. She looks so young. But I guess I look young too. Like I think somebody looked at it. I showed somebody at the gym a picture of me and her, of she and I. And it was like you both look 12. Like we're both. I was like, I couldn't fight it. I was like, I can see where you got that. I can see that despite, having a few
Not
grays.
12.
Like you look 12 in this
Not
picture.
12.
But I got to meet her. And she was cool. It actually,
That is hilarious.
that was cool. Um, and she like one of the things about her is that I've worked with celebrities my entire career, if I'm being 100% honest. And so the level of being starstruck isn't there. And I wasn't, but I remember going backstage for something to try to find someone else. And as I was going backstage to go look for someone else, and I open up the door and she's there, I gasped. I was like, like she just has like, that's her presence. Like she has a presence that just makes you go, like, oh, that's Frozen Spalding, you know.
Right.
Like I remember when she was like the youngest, I think she was like the youngest person to get like a Grammy or something like that.
Mm,
It was either she was the
I
youngest
think so.
person,
I think so. I do remember that. Yeah.
she was either the youngest, or it was like the category that she got it in. I think she was the first person in jazz to get Best New Artist. Um, anyway, she's just amazing. She's just amazing. Who's on my playlist? I mean, but like, don't get it wrong. Like, I mean, why am I playing this right here?
Who's the ratchetness on your playlist?
I I'm at the point of my life right now where I don't even know these artists. I just put them on the playlist. Oh, I've been listening to more Afro beats. I have been listening. Oh, Giveon is someone I like to listen to. Um, Amber Mark is someone I listen to. K Tronada, um, Ella May.
Okay.
I still keep Michael Jackson in rotation. Um, Um, Usher, I like. I know I might get canceled, but I'm a Chris Brown fan. Don't get it.
I still, that's a whole nother conversation. We're not even about to go there right now. Leave a man alone.
Her, I'm a fan of her. I do like Tiana Taylor. I,
Yes. Yes, yes.
um, what's the most ratchet thing I listen to? Oh, I think Janae Aiko. I think
Because you do.
she been getting a little ratchet late. Miss Janae Aiko, she been getting a little ratchet. What is the ratchet thing I've been listening to? I can't find it
Really?
right. When I say ratchet, I mean she's like a soft ratchet, you know.
Right, because I'm like, if you're talking about she going Megan Thee Stallion or Nicki Minaj direction, like, wait a minute.
I mean, she's talking about her WAP a little bit more.
Oh no, are you serious?
Me and JD, my best friend JD, we've been having this
Uh,
conversation about
all right.
how we both been noticing, like, have you noticed? Like, we was like, yes. And I was like, yeah, I noticed it too.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, she's
I did
definitely,
not know that, but okay then.
yeah, she's been talking about her WAP a lot more lately.
One last question for you. Moving in the multiple worlds that you do as an artist, as a creative, for the most part, um, do you like the fluidity, or do you want to have one or two spaces that is just I put roots there?
I'll share this with you. I have a dream or a vision of me doing like a
Okay.
show that has all of it. Like people come to
Okay.
some venue where I'm singing, rapping, playing the piano, you know, maybe telling jokes while I'm doing artwork. You know, maybe there's artwork in the foyer. You know, maybe I tap dance a
Okay.
little bit. Like, you know, maybe they get a program book that I've written some sort of excerpts in it. Like, I see myself definitely showcasing all of it at the same time. Like that's the goal is to be
Okay.
able to offer an experience where they get all of it.
That's pretty cool. I can't wait to see that vision come through.
Actually, I
That's
have
pretty cool.
actually I have some things and I have some things in mind that I will not share with the public because I will not,
Right.
you know, but me and you can talk about it offline. I have an idea that I want to
Yeah.
do that I'm gonna tell you about later.
Okay.
That I almost
Okay.
forgot about
Well,
until you
no,
asked that
that
question.
Hey, all right. I'm glad I'm jogging some memories out here. But Miss Vanessa, Miss VA, it's always wonderful chatting with you, ma'am. And I'm glad to see you are in the studio working on some paintings.